Never let it be said that I don't finish anything. Well, I won't be finishing anything tonight, but I will do a Queen League demonstration with live commentary. It's kind of hard to get the levels and everything set up to do this. Okay, yeah, I do want to give up. So I'd start. I gave up, but I'm not giving up on this. So go to our Grand Prix. We'll stick with Blue Falcon. Is that the fastest? 457, 438, 462, a little faster. 478. 78, they're the fastest, I guess. Let's stick with what we know. And we're gonna go to Queen League and definitely beginner. Mute City 2. It's just like Mute City 1. Now, I think it's the second track in Mute City, not a second Mute City. Actually, that would be a useful way to disambiguate cities with similar names. So, London, England could be... Oh, this is neat. London, England could be London 1. And then, like, London, Ontario could be London 32 or whatever it is. It could be number 2, I don't know, but... I wouldn't do it by importance either, because that's subject to change. It would just be, you know, the first dibs go. There's a Toronto and PEI, you know, for all I know, that could be Toronto 2. Maybe there is no Toronto between Toronto, Ontario, and Toronto PEI in order of founding. I don't think Toronto PEI will ever catch up in terms of importance to Toronto, Ontario, but they'll be like, you know, just for the purpose of referential integrity, as all good database administrators know, we're gonna not mess with the primary keys. They're just gonna be nice auto incremental sequence, 1, 2, 3, 4, first come, first serve. That's your number. That's the way to do it, as far as I'm concerned. I have opinions. Now, should you listen to my opinions? Well, I guess that depends on what I'm talking about. On some things you know, am I an expert on anything? Like a real, like, no kidding expert? Probably not. Really. I mean, unless you, like, care about where all the different roads go. I always like, I'm kind of like a road map geek a bit. Okay, let's concentrate on the race, because clearly this is kind of fun, you know. I'm just chilling out, just talking into the microphone, enjoying the views of Mute City. It's not actually on mute. I'm listening through the headphones. But there's a bit of a delay, just a little bit. So if I tried singing along, it wouldn't really work like this. Da 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 da. It's like, it's a little bit behind. That pink car really did a nice little sway back and forth there. You know what would be cool? A cool effect if the wind sort of like tried to like let's say when you're on the track, you're not really exposed to the wind, but then you leap up into the air and the wind gust is just incredible, and it just shoves you sideways totally. So again, if you don't know, you sort of press and hold down to get a boost off those whoosh thingers. You know, I always employ the proper words on this thing. Whoosh thingy. Jump plate? Ramp? But yeah, you have to be careful. It's pretty easy to get just carry yourself off the track. But I mean, if you do that, it's really your fault. There's no wins or anything like that. I suppose you could maybe get bumped by another car in midair. I don't even know if that's possible. If the game's sophisticated enough to do that, or if you just clip through them. I don't know if I'm willing to test that or not. I do have to get in front of this green guy though. It'd be nice if he hit that orange guy in the way and made him explode. When the cars are flashing like that, it means they're just about to blow up. And you don't want to be the last person to bump into them and make the blow up, because it will hurt you. It makes a big boom. But I also, like, I don't understand how anybody could be that bad. Like, I guess they gotta make the computer players unrealistically bad. Yeah, I guess they really do in video games. Like, so when you're playing, like, beginner in a racing game, if the other racers were real, they'd have to be, like, toddlers or something. Like, to make, like, realistically, that's who your opponents kind of are. Except sometimes they're toddlers who cheat. They just, they all of a sudden they're behind you, especially these top-ranked guys. It doesn't matter how fast you go; they're always right behind you. But that's like, oh crud! I totally meant to do that. I wanted to show you what a crash looks like, and I hadn't shown you that yet. But now you know. Okay, let's get serious here. Good music on this track. And those red spots, I don't think they blow you up, but they're bad news. The ones where we were jumping before. And I also think, I'm pretty sure that there's only one, like, quote-unquote pit area on any track! Oh, Glaven. Okay. Let's do this for real. Oh, that's kind of a tease. Doesn't take away your extra car until you're on the starting line. So you kind of think, oh, I still got 2 lives left. Well, I got 1 extra car. So this is like, depending on how you're counting them. Some Mario games count. Well, you always think of Mario games when it comes to lives. Some of them they have where ×1 is as low as you can go, so they're measuring like the current life that you're on. And I think Super Mario Brothers does that, but Super Mario Brothers 3 I think lets you go to ×0. So really, in Super Mario Bros. 3, I think they even start you with the same 3 lives, but you get to run on 0. But then on Super Mario World, they start you with 5, but you don't get to run on 0. So even though your lives go, like the number of lives you have at the start of the game goes 3, 4, 5. Okay, I guess that's what that looks like. The number of lives goes 3 to 4 to 5. No, wait, 3, 3, 5 is how it goes. But it's really going 3, 4, 5. No, or is it? No, because it's 1, 2, yeah, 5. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it is 3, 4, 5. This is the advanced math that you come to this channel for. just like how to add and subtract large numbers. Check it out if you haven't seen it. I made that in NSCC, Nova Scotia Community College. It's part of my IT diploma program. It was an application development course, but it was really, it was really like abstract, like, concepts and notions kind of things. Like it really, you could rightly ask, what does a PowerPoint on how to add and subtract large numbers have to do with anything IT? Well, it's a learning interface, or that's I guess what they wanted us to present, an interface for learning something, but it was really flexible about what that could be. And there was even like an interactive component, so and you could do it on paper if you wanted to. In fact, I think there was even like a paper airplane flying contest of some kind. I don't know, it just seemed like they were folding up paper and tossing it in the hall. That class was kind of a joke. I mean, in some ways, the first lecture I got ticked and I walked out on it, because the instructor was like, one thing I haven't been noticing, and he's just been talking like all over the place, like he's going here, he's going there, he's talking like I'm talking now, which is fine. It's like, that's, you're just, especially hey, it's like the first day, we're just getting to know each other, just talk about a bunch of things, what kind of stuff we're probably gonna do, and it's like, it's no big deal. I don't expect everything to be a choreographed song and dance. And so that's fine. But at the end of it, he's like, one thing I didn't notice was people taking notes. And so there's going to be a quiz tomorrow, or whenever the next meeting of the class was. And I was, oh my God, was I ever pissed. That's when I got up and walked out. Because I just was like, how much you can't have it both ways. You're gonna play it fast and loose with the content, and then you're gonna turn around and micromanage the notes we're taking. Because and I probably barely took any of that lecture, because there was no meat on the bone. There wasn't meat on the bone in the sense that, okay, when you watch a TED Talk, and somebody can later ask you what it was about, you didn't need to take notes, really. What you need to take, the stuff you need to take notes about is oh, what's that, what's the syntax to, connect to the database in my PHP project. That's the kind of stuff you really need to take careful notes about. And you can just look it up on Google anyway, so what do I know? I'm kind of having problems here. Okay, limit 3. So this is that thing remember that before I was talking about how you could only get so far back? Did I just get bumped in midair? So maybe I did demonstrate something. Okay, but I guess I did pick up an extra car somewhere, which you get for, I think, finishing in the same place 3 times. And Super Mario Kart does that too, hilariously. So, pro tip, if you're doing a 2-player Super Mario Kart in Grand Prix, and let's say, you're good and you're going to actually win it. Okay, I'm gonna be really careful with those ramps. I'm not even gonna try for the boosts. Okay, so let's say you're playing Super Mario Kart 2-player, and you're much better than the other person, so you're making progress and going, you're getting 4th or better on each one, and you're going on to the next course without having to lose a car. One person has to do that. The other person will lose a car, but then they'll be taken to the next course because you're taken to the next course. I mean, they're not gonna make player 2 play, Mario Circuit 1 again while you're playing Donut Plains or whatever. So, although that would be funny if they did that. Also quite impressive from a hardware standpoint. So anyway, where was I? So the second player gets sort of carried along with you, but they lose a cart every time. So if they just willy-nilly lose carts, like let's say they place, 8th and then 7th and then 6th and then 5th, oh wow, they're doing better every time, but they've only got like I think 3 extra lives, and so by the time they come to the course 4th out of 5, they'll have lost all their 2 or 3, whatever it is. They'll have lost all their extra carts. But if they've come in whatever flunking out place it was, even 8th place, which I guess is the easiest one to get, if you play deliberately, if you placed in 8th every time, you'll get an extra cart, and that'll be just enough to carry you into the final course. So I was playing 100cc special on a friend's Super NES Classic, and so she'd basically hang out in 8th the whole time. But it was funny because she was talking me down earlier, like, because you have to beat the 100cc Mushroom Flower and Star just to unlock 100cc special, and then you beat 100cc special, and then it unlocks the 150cc Mushroom Flower Star, and you do those, and then you get 150cc special. But anyway, I was just concentrating on getting as far as finishing 100cc special. And I did that, but in order to do that, I had to do the 100cc Mushroom Flower Stars, and of course I make them look easy. I mean, I've been playing that game for years. So, and so she's like, you're probably on the lowest difficulty. Well, I wasn't on the lowest difficulty, but I was on the highest one that was available when you turn the system on. Like, when you first start the game, you can't get higher than those 100cc Mushroom Flower Stars, and you have to get gold on all of them to unlock the higher difficulties. So that's what I was doing. So anyway, it's now unlocked, and she can play 150cc Mushroom Flower Star. Which I don't recommend. After I got the... Oh, please, there we go. Yeah, that's the one you absolutely have to go... And I was going pretty slow, so I had to line up straight as an arrow to get over that. Anyway, so... The, whatchamacallit. So that 100 and... After I got the 100cc special and the credits rolled, and just barely. I think I even fell off the track on the final lap of Rainbow Road. Oh, it just and I think I got first place in the standings overall by 1 point. It was pretty scary. So where was I? It is kind of hard to talk and race at the same time, but it's kind of fun. It's like I'm walking and chewing gum at the same time. Well, that would be obnoxious. Yeah, I won't do that. Little known fact, well, it's probably quite well known, I wear braces, so gum is kind of out of the picture for the foreseeable future. Until that day, years down the road, when I finally take them off. Oh, like, for me, getting braces was a bad idea. I finally got a dental plan when I got a decent job in 2015. So I had a dental plan. So I go to the dentist, and they're like, you need braces. Okay, so I get invested. I go for the consult, and they're like, yeah, it'll be, I don't know, like $5,000 or whatever it is, and on top of that, so there's all this time involved in everything, and I didn't have coverage for ortho at that job, so and it's kind of rare. Actually, there was ortho, but it was like there was an age restriction, so it would have only been useful if I had dependent children, which I did not. Anyway, so this business about braces, yeah, and like, I finally did get them when I was driving a bus for Halifax Transit, and so I was like, oh, and they didn't have any dental coverage, but the upshot is that, I thought, well, this is a stable job, so I'll just stay in this job for however many years and get these braces dealt with. And then I got into the Marine Communications and Traffic Services program. And so that started with 6 months in Sydney at the Coast Guard College, learning how to tell boats not to bump into each other and listening to the radio. And so, I did, and that wasn't too bad because I could go back to Halifax on the weekends and stuff. And it was a really crappy situation for the people from the West Coast. Because, they didn't have their cars and they had to fly and they only went back for Christmas, and that was only in the programs that went over Christmas. So, yeah, just really not a good situation. Like if you had like a family or something, and so you're gonna go to Sydney for 6 months and basically make minimum wage and stay in a dorm without your car or house or anything. It's kind of a pain. But here we are, Mute City, how did we do? Anyway, I told you all that to tell you that I'm now in Prince Rupert. And so and I was kind of resisting committing to staying here, so I didn't get my dental or ortho or anything transferred here until just the tail end of last year, starting this year. And now that I have, it's good. It's a good situation, and hopefully we'll get this seen to. And I also thought I'd be going home a lot more often, because I thought, I'll get checked out as a Marine Communications and Traffic Services operator, and I'll be working all this overtime, and I could probably go home like every month if I want to, or every couple of months. Even every 3 months might have been workable, but ended up being that I didn't go home for an entire year. And that was I only did go home when I got a different job. So, and I have a much better job now. There's no overtime, but I don't have the opportunity to work 60, 70-hour weeks and make money hand over fist. But I can also have a life. So, you win some, you lose some. And also, this job has a great dental plan, and it pays for my ortho. So, So, I think that's enough for tonight. I think I'll just upload this, and we'll do King League another night. Good night!